Absolutely, the Penguins are failing Sidney Crosby. You have a player that's playing at MVP level, still the same superstar he was from the time he entered the league. And when you look at the Pittsburgh Penguins, they are no longer at a crossroads. They are staring into the abyss. And that abyss is one that sees them clearly falling off. You look at their team, it's a case of far too many delivering far too little. There is no problem with the four top forwards, the four top defensemen, the goaltender. There's just not enough behind them. And when we go back to their Stanley Cup teams, they had depth everywhere in the lineup, and they were hard to play against. No longer the case. Yes, they have top players that are still performing at top levels, but behind them, it just simply isn't good enough. And that's where the Pittsburgh Penguins have to make decisions, because continuing fourth with this lineup isn't going to get you anywhere. It's going to get you out of the playoffs, and it's not going to move forward. It's not going to allow Sidney Crosby to compete for another Stanley Cup. Those are hard areas to address where the Pittsburgh Penguins find themselves. But staying where they are now, hoping, is not an answer. Dealing with the hard question of this team is simply not good enough. Forget about the Stanley Cup. It's not good enough to be in the playoffs. It's not good enough to give you any type of push come playoff time. So for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Kyle Dubas, this now becomes an exercise in what can we do to help Crosby, to help Letang, to help Malkin. That is the answers that they have to come up with, because if they don't come up with answers to support those guys, it doesn't matter what they do. It won't be good enough to help this team compete for Sidney Crosby's fourth Stanley Cup.